Welcome to the newest episode of Saved by the Books, where two ladies with opposite reading tastes discuss all things reading.
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to another episode of Saved by the Books. Paige, Becky, and EXO are back, and we are doing a book tag this week because we decided that that's what we wanted to do.
And plus, we're doing it because the Creating Co Book Club, the Book Lover Readathon, will be the week after this is posted, and so this is going to be the Book Lover
Yeah,
tag.
so we're basically we made this one up, so yeah, we don't have any links for you for like who to find this from. Wait. Yeah.
We are the link.
Yeah, we are the link. Anyway, so yeah, this is the Book Lover book tag, and if you guys want to answer it, definitely do that and let us know on Instagram. You could do an Instagram post or a video or whatever. I think I'll also make a thread in the Creating Co Book Club, so like if you are a member over there, you can come in and answer these questions. So yeah, we have 15, and they're all about reading and loving to read. So I guess we can go ahead and get into them.
Yeah.
The first one is a book that made you fall in love with reading.
So I think what really kicked me out was the whole Princess Diaries series, which we've talked about before. I think that was my big, where I had to read them all and got that kind of motivation going.
I mean, I was really into the Biscuit I Can Read books.
You went way back.
When I was like 3 or 4.
Okay, well, I love Berenstain Bears and Clifford. Oh, Amelia Bedelia. Oh my gosh, I loved Amelia. Like, seriously, like I still love her. And I remember doing a project in Spanish. You had to read like a book in Spanish. And so I still have my Spanish Amelia Bedelia, and it's even funnier.
I know I don't know. I always feel kind of bad because I wish I had a book that I could say like this is the book, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've loved reading basically my entire life. I remember really loving the American Girl books. There was some other book, and it was a series. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them, and it was a historical fiction, and it was an Irish girl, and her family left New York.
Is that the one with Ellis Island that you were?
No, but that's a different one.
Okay.
And her family like moved to like the Midwest to like have a farm. And I remember that one for some reason, but I cannot think of what it's called at all. I really loved Laurie Halse Anderson. I made Becky read one of them, Fever 1793.
Oh yes, I was like, wait, who said? I love Fever 1793.
Lois Duncan wrote like thrillers basically, and I loved those. I loved Goosebumps, I loved Babysitter's Club, and I loved Sweet Valley High.
Yeah.
And that was basically like my elementary school. So
yeah, I was about to say, because high school was Princess Diaries, and then the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I remember that one.
And then I jumped full force when I went to college into like adult contemporary, which was kind of crazy. Because I guess, well, I'm not that old, but the whole YA thing, there wasn't really, I guess Sarah Dessen was out. I never read Sarah Dessen until this week, but
no, you read her last year.
I did read her last year. Oh my gosh, y'all. My brain. But yeah, I think it was mainly, especially like series and stuff, it was Princess Diaries and Babysitter's Club, and that was a big push.
I feel like YA back in the day was so different from it now. Like I was reading an article recently, this is off topic, but I was reading an article recently about how it has changed, and like how it used to be like very like serialized things, like Sweet Valley High you can read in whatever order you want, or Goosebumps or Babysitter's Club, and whereas now it's more of like a traditional like trilogy and stuff. But yeah, and of course also all of those series had ghostwriters, because I don't know if R.L. Stein ever did. I know for a fact Sweet Valley High, and I'm pretty sure Babysitter's Club had ghostwriters. Anyway, moving on. The next question is book you can always reread. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Sure. Mine is always Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, that
obviously Jane Austen. That's one I usually read every year. Last year I actually didn't reread it, which is surprising, but I read several adaptations of it. So Pride and Prejudice is always my number one
So instead of rereading, I usually go for fan fiction. So Harry Potter. I liked Gilmore Girls fan fiction for a little bit.
Oh, I never read any. I didn't even think about Gilmore Girls fan fiction.
Right now I'm into Gotham fan fiction because after I have watched the show about 5 times, I'm like, I need some more material. But I have definitely wanted to reread more. So like one of my goals for 2020 is to reread more books. I really want to reread The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller and The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. Basically all the books that you see as my favorites, like those are on my reread list. Oh, and I've also reread Discovery of Witches 3 times.
Oh, that's right, you have.
Yeah. Yeah, the next one is OTP. Who is your favorite pairing?
Mine obviously is Darcy and Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice. I'm just totally, I don't know, I'm truly classic when it comes to that.
So one of them is Lily and Rowan from the Firewalker trilogy. I loved them. Nobody knows who I'm talking about, but that's okay. I'm really into the Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle pairing. Let's see, who else?
I was gonna say some of the Sarah McLean and Julia Quinn from the Bridgertons and the Bare Knuckled Bastard series that, you know, they have. Some of them are my like favorites, but my absolute is always going back to Elizabeth and Darcy.
I don't want to say the pairing because it might be a spoiler. Never mind, there's a pairing in Fallen Kingdoms I really love. I really loved the Romance in the Traitor's Circle trilogy.
That's what another one I was thinking of.
That was a really good one.
So if you haven't read those, that was some of our top books last year.
I really loved one of the pairings in American Royals.
Yep. And I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yeah, I love. Oh my god,
that
is probably one of my one true pairings for sure. Like I will love them forever. I can't believe I never think of that book. I don't know why. The next one is Book You Hate to Love. So I came up with this one right before, like I was actually surprised that I remembered it. It's the Paper Princess trilogy by Erin Watt.
And that's the same for me. Like I didn't even think of it until she mentioned it. It's like, oh my gosh, yes. It's so good.
And that's actually one I've reread. I reread it in 2019. Yeah, it's a romance. It's kind of YA because the characters are younger, but I wouldn't really classify it as YA. I would classify it as an adult. These YA characters are really doing some adult things.
Right. Toxic.
It's very toxic. The storyline is just kind of ridiculous in a way. But I still love them and I will still reread them.
Yeah, and then I was thinking like some of those Kindle Unlimited books, like, I don't know, like some of those, it's like, that's why they're on Kindle Unlimited. They're not on my bookshelf. Like, yeah.
I really like the whole concept of reading romance on Kindle just because that means you're not in public with like abs on the book cover. A book you love to hate.
Do you want to go?
I haven't thought of one yet.
Okay, well mine, it's no surprise here. It has to be Book Thief. Because everyone loves it. I don't even know, but the Book Thief, we've talked about it so many times. I just couldn't get into it. I love the concept, but there wasn't really a point to it in my mind. And so,
okay,
yeah.
So I don't really actively hate any book. Like if I don't like it, I just kind of move on. I'm just like, whatever. Or if I DNF it, I'm just like, whatever. But on my DNF list from 2019, which I never ended up doing a video on, we have the Storm Crow and the Merciful Crow, because apparently I do not like crow books. And it has nothing to do with the crows. But I could not get into either of those books. And the storyline for the Storm Crow was just like, it was just, for some reason the word lackadaisical is coming to mind. It was like the characters never actually did anything. And like I was halfway through the book and we were still just like going shopping with them. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to go shopping again. So yeah, I didn't like that. But I don't know, I don't actively hate them. Some of my other DNFs like might end up coming back and I might read them.
That's what I was thinking, like my DNFs, but I'm like, I just don't care about them. So it's not an active hate. I'm just like, not worth my time. But The Book Thief, like, had so much, like, so many wars
so
and
bored.
there wasn't a point to it.
I was so bored.
Like, I want Death to actually, I don't know, like, Death was an
I want
interesting
Death
character.
to do things.
Well, no, but it was like an interesting concept and a brilliant, like, idea, but I'm like, nothing's happening.
Another one I DNF'd is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover.
Oh, that's the other book. Okay. Slammed by Colleen Hoover. That is my other big love to hate. I just can't get behind the relationship that was in there, then how awful the main character was to her mother who had cancer, and some of the things. I mean, she was just a spoiled brat, and I'm sorry, like, I don't know if I could ever read Colleen Hoover after that book because it just turned me off so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can't.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the one on DNF because it drives me crazy when one of the primary issues in a plot is lack of communication. And I realize, like, that's a problem people have. Like, that's a valid reason to have, like, a relationship problem. But I don't like reading it for whatever reason. Another one that I didn't DNF, but I only rated 2 stars is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. That was, not good. I don't even...
Yeah.
I just did not like it at all. The main character drove me nuts. Yeah, so moving on. The next one is your favorite genre.
I think mine's contemporary and contemporary romance.
Mine is fantasy and fantasy romance. So...
I think no surprise there with
yeah,
either one of us.
Neither of us are surprising there.
But we've both been overlapping, which I think over the last 2 years, just our friendship, our book tastes have started kind of crossing over. We're still very much, you know,
yeah,
set
I feel
in
like
our ways.
we're still pretty different, but
it's overlapping a whole lot more. Like, I read more fantasy than ever, and I think you read more contemporary than you have in the past.
Another one that is a favorite that has just recently become a favorite are superhero comics. And I say superhero because now I feel like there's so many other comics out there and, like, other themes with comics and other graphic novels, and I'm just really into all of it lately. So yeah, that's probably gonna be my favorite genre of 2020. So just get ready, because by the end of the year I'll only be talking about Batman and Flash and Spider-Gwen. So there's that. The next one is book other people love but you haven't read it yet. I'm trying to think. Oh crap, what was that one? Red Rising is one, and I just, like, mentioned that in my last video.
Mistborn for me, Brandon Sanderson.
Stormlight Archives for me, Brandon Sanderson.
What's the one that you just mentioned that you love and you would reread?
The Shadows Between Us?
No, the one, is it with the dragon?
Fireborn.
Yes,
oh my God.
that one. I was like, I haven't read that one yet, but everyone that's read it has loved it.
Sorcery of Thorns is another one.
Oh, The Court of Thorn and Roses. I haven't read any. That's Sarah J. Maas, right? I haven't read any of her books. Sorry, guys.
I haven't finished Six of Crows, and I haven't read King of Scars.
Yeah, I haven't done those.
I also have not finished A Darker Shade of Magic. And yeah. The next one is your favorite romance tropes. I love a star-crossed romance.
Yeah.
If somebody is not supposed to be with somebody else but they want to be, I am there.
Yep.
That's basically, like, my favorite thing. I'm trying to think of some others. I love soulmate type of stuff, or, like, especially, like, with paranormal fantasy you get it a lot, or, like, paranormal romance, because, like, it'll be, like, different creatures or different like shifter creatures or whatever, and they have, like, life mates or whatever. I love that a lot. There's also, like, a like fan fiction plot line that seems to pop up all the time, so I can only imagine it originated from Tumblr, but, like, everyone is born with, like, a mark on them, and it's like your, like, what, like, the either, like, the first words that your soulmate spoke to you, or
Oh,
like,
that's
the
sweet.
last words that they spoke to you.
Oh.
And so like your whole life you're kind of like
Trying to figure out who
this
it is.
person. And I love those.
That
so
reminds
much.
me of a movie that's on Netflix where they have the timer, like
Yeah,
how
like
long-
the timer, like how long until you die, or how long
how long.
until you.
Well, it's how long until you meet your person.
Yes,
And
I've
that is
seen
one of
that.
my like favorite, cutest things ever. I don't remember what it is,
Yes.
but it's on Netflix. I think one of my favorite tropes is kind of like they were childhood sweethearts and like separated
Oh,
for
yeah, I
childhood,
do
and
love
then they
that.
come back.
I do
Or
love that.
sometimes it's like the younger sibling coming back in the picture, like, you know, they've been ignored the whole time, and then obviously with the friend, like the older friends
Yeah.
or whatever, and come back.
Yeah, I do like that too.
So like just thinking of some of those, you know, romance books that, I don't know, but yeah.
the next one is your hated romance tropes. So I'm really not into office romances.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said that before.
I think Office, or if there's any, I'm not really a fan of the toxic relationships where they are. It's just Paper Princess. It was just so bad, so good type of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more like other ones. Like
Yeah.
I hate coming up with tropes, you guys. Like I love how we made these questions and I'm over here like I hate coming up with tropes.
Right.
Because tropes are just hard to think of for me. I don't know. Like if somebody mentions them to me, I can be like, oh yeah, I like that or I don't like that, but I never think of anything as a trope.
Right.
What else don't I like in romance? See, I don't read it, so I don't like it. Or I don't read it, so I don't, or I don't like it, so I don't read it. So, yeah, I don't know. There's some more though, for sure. The next one is if you could have one literary significant other, who would it be? Lee from Fireborn.
Guess I need to read that. Mine would be Darcy.
The male character in The Shadows Between Us, I can't think of his name. And I'm trying to think of what else. I keep looking at pictures on my phone
know.
of like my bookshelves. So that's what I'm looking at, you guys. I could be down with Rowan from Firewalker Trilogy. I know nobody knows who I'm talking about. That's okay.
To say, I kind of love Lawrence and All the Birds in the Sky, but no one has really
no
read
one knows
that.
who we're talking about.
No, just because it's not a common.
I was thinking for a second I was gonna say Arthur from the Guinevere Deception,
Yeah.
but no, he's too much of a good guy for me.
I know I keep looking. Oh, Jack from Virgin River, and so that is a massive book series. But it's also on Netflix.
I was gonna say Edward the Fourth.
Yeah, right.
from history.
Yeah.
Definitely not Henry VIII.
No.
I really think that Arthur, as in the Arthur that married Catherine of Aragon, like I feel like he could have been a really
yes.
good king and a really good person.
Right. I agree.
And yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would be his significant other, but you know, whatever.
yeah.
Kind of just turned into like favorites of
Yeah, but we read those books, so that counts.
yeah.
I was gonna say, so question 11, favorite romance cover. I don't think I have just one. I think it's all the new illustrated covers that are out there.
I really love Bringing Down the Dukes cover and Red, White, and Royal Blues cover.
I do like the new covers for, what is it? Her Royal Highness.
Oh, I like
And-
those too. I need to read them still.
Yeah, I think they're just really nice and classic. They're just pretty. I'm searching my phone to look at covers.
Gotta love how my internet or my data or whatever is not loading. The next one is anticipated book release that you know you will love. So this one's hard because neither of us are very good at keeping track of book releases. I know I'm gonna love The Shadows Between Us because I already read it. Hold on, I actually do have a Goodreads shelf that's 2020 releases. One day it will load. So Kiera Cass has a new book coming out called The Betrothed, and I feel like I'm gonna love it. I feel like it's
Yeah.
gonna be one of those, like, I don't want to admit that I love this, but I love it. So
I think Tweet Cute will be really,
yeah.
and that just came out I think this last week.
I I don't know. Honestly,
Oh,
like
Queen of Vaults.
Yeah. Honestly though, like most of the books for 2020, I'm not like hugely excited for.
See, I think my authors that I usually stick with, especially the romance ones, I don't think they're coming out with any this year.
Supposedly City of Spells, which is the second book to the Into the Crooked Place series, is coming out in 2020. I loved the first one so much. But it doesn't have a cover yet, so I kind of am not sure if it's actually gonna happen.
The third in the City of Ghosts by Schwab comes out in September, actually on my birthday, I think. And so that one I'm excited about.
There's a book called The Deep, and I think it's about the Titanic, and it comes out.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, it's something, it says someone or something is haunting the Titanic. This is the only way to explain the series of misfortunes that have plagued the passengers of the ship from the moment they set sail. So it sounds like it's gonna like be a story that happens on like the maiden voyage of Titanic. So I will probably be all over that.
Yeah.
The next one is your favorite rom-com.
Not that Pride and Prejudice is one, but I know, I'll go Pride and Prejudice. I know.
Would just go straight for Pride and Prejudice.
I was trying to think. Okay, so I can't remember the name. I think that is the sweetest one where they meet. It's the countdown, like match. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called. I really liked Bring It On.
Yeah.
I know that's a movie, but that's literally what I think of when I think of like rom-coms. I don't think of books.
Love Actually, but that's not really a comedy.
Yeah.
I'm like totally missing the mark here. What are some good ones?
My stupid Goodreads will not load. Oh my god.
I keep trying to think, but now everything's Netflix and Amazon, so it's like not having a DVD shelf like we used to kind of figure it out. Oh, Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh yeah, that's
How
a good
could I forget that one? Sweet Home Alabama.
This isn't really a rom-com because it's a TV series, but Heart of Dixie.
Yes.
I really like that series.
Yes.
I'm still trying to find a book though, so I can at least like toss in a book. There's like, I read a lot of romances, okay, in 2019. Like that was.
Hi, EXO. I thought The Wedding Date was cute.
Alex Approximately was cute.
I thought Heartland by Kimberly Stewart was cute. Her Royal Highness.
The Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this YouTube channel, and they have a series called Lost in Adaptation, and they basically read whatever book it is, and then they watch the adaptation, and then they basically like analyze like what was taken out or added or whatever to like make the adaptation better, or whether it does make it better or whatever. And apparently the Princess Diaries books, which granted the guy who runs the channel is like a guy in his 20s, so he's not the intended audience for the Princess Diaries, but he really hated the book, and I was like, it kind of made me want to reread it because I was like, I wonder if I would hate it now.
Right. I thought 10 Blind Dates was really a cute rom-com.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I mean, and that's what we read.
That would be a good
last month.
And it kind of makes me curious because I haven't read any Meg Cabot other than Princess Diaries, and I've tried to read 2 and DNF 2.
But those were her fantasy ones, right?
Yeah, one was a vampire one, and one was like a Hades and Persephone. Okay. Or I've tried to read 2 more Meg Cabot books, and I have DNF both because I don't know. I just never actually picked them up. I DNF them mostly because I borrow them from the library, and then I just never finish them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one is your favorite Valentine's Day treat. So I don't like Valentine's Day. I don't like the candy. But I always like chocolate. So
I was going to say, I'm all for whatever Reese's comes out at that time because it's Reese's. So those are like my favorite. And then
those chalky little hearts, I'm not into. I do really like turtles. Like the little turtle chocolate. I love those.
I do like chocolate covered strawberries, but those can be messy.
Yeah.
But only if the strawberries are actually ripe, because half the time they aren't.
Yeah. The last one is your favorite place to read a book. And I'm going to go with my bed. That's where I do most of my reading.
My bathtub with a glass of wine and chocolate. So I think that's kind of my favorite. Or it's my couch and the fireplace going. So those are the 2 places.
Anywhere that EXO is.
Oh, that was sweet. I was gonna obviously with Poppy for me. Not that she's here. That would be a completely different episode. So I think that's about
But
it.
yeah, that's the book lover book tag. Like I said, we came up with it, but some of the questions might be similar to other book tags that you've seen because there's only so many questions you can ask in relation to books and Valentine's Day. But also, like I said, I will post a thread in the Creating a Co book club, and we will definitely want to know your guys' answers because we are gearing up for the book lover readathon. It's happening from February 3rd through 9th. Yeah, through 9th. And we have 5 different prompts. We have a group read. The group read is The Guinevere Deception. And it's totally free to participate. So head on over to the Creating Co book club and join. And yeah, all of the info is in the like group announcements when you join. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to go ahead and say, just in case you wanted to read it for the readathon, our book for February, our buddy read, is actually going to be a Meg Cabot. It's going to be No Judgments by Meg Cabot. It came out last September, and we got it at BookCon and we never had a chance to read it, so we figured it would be a good February read.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will go quickly.
Yes.
Because our other option would not have gone quickly. And so, yeah. Also next week we will be talking about Once and For All by Sarah Dessen. And
there'll be lots of thoughts.
Yeah,
so make sure you tune in. I was about to say, yeah, like all of ours are. Oh, extra.
I have tabs on tabs on tabs over here. So,
here we go.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.